Hi, I just want to give a little warning in advance. While we were recording, I was recording in a basement where a washer and dryer were, and about 40 minutes in, that starts going, and it kind of fucks up my audio. So just keep that in mind that around the 40-minute mark, that's what happens. I'm gonna trim down as much as I can. Hopefully, it'll be more listenable. My apologies and goodbye.
Moving at speed of sound, quickest hedgehog around. Found ourselves in a situation, stuck in a new location without any explanation. No time for relaxation. Don't blink, don't think, just go.
Hello, listeners, and welcome to Sonic Shuffle, a random and holistic lore podcast. I'm the student, Morgan.
And I'm the teacher, Dan.
Although this week, we both watched The Thing because it was Sonic X.
Yeah. Sonic X is, of course, the classic Sonic anime from the early 2000s. It ran from the early 2000s to the mid 2000s. I have not looked up a date, but I think it was one of the first things to actually establish the two worlds thing that Sonic abides by these days. There are 3 seasons. The first season is sort of, the scenario is Sonic and his friends end up in the human world, and so did Dr. Eggman. So Sonic and friends have to fight Eggman. The second season is adaptations of Sonic Adventure 1 and 2, and I think they also threw in a Sonic Battle adaptation somewhere in there. And Season 3 is a special one because, much like how 4Kids commissioned, I don't know what studio made Yu-Gi-Oh! But 4Kids commissioned them to make a third season, and that season is wild. It's even weirder than Capsule Monsters because, Capsule Monsters is obviously sell some toys, but Season 3 of Sonic X is this sort of space opera plot, and
Yeah, isn't there some princess named Cosma or something?
Yeah, there's
Cosmo.
There's a race of plant people. They're called Cedrians, I think, and there's this character named Cosmo, the Cedrian, who is a plant person, and she develops a crush on Tails, or Tails gets a crush on her. And they have to battle these evil aliens called the Zorda, I think. That's how I remember it. And there's some really dark moments involving Shadow. There's a very famous, well, I don't know if it's very famous, but outside of meme stuff, but there's a scene of Shadow, Eggman, and Rouge hanging out in a space bar, and Shadow, I swear, Shadow says something like, "Everyone I ever cared about is dead," something like that. It's
Sonic is the emo prince we all deserve.
Shadow is truly the GOAT, the greatest of all time.
For sure.
We're starting on the first season, and since season 1 is not just season 1, since this show got an English dub by 4Kids, there are bound to be certain differences.
Yes, I watched the sub. people who listen to my other podcast, Wow Cool Robot, know that I'm fine with the dub more than like Max is. I just thought it would be interesting to see the differences.
Right, yeah. Yeah, if you've listened to any of Pot of Greed, you know that I'm a big fan of Goofy 4Kids dubs. And Sonic X is no exception. In fact,
Yeah.
like, Sonic X is kind of, like, important to the history of, like, Sonic voice actors because I believe from Shadow to Sonic Colors, they had the 4Kids cast, like, continue to play their roles in the games. And the most iconic of them all is probably Mike Pollock, who started as, like, the voice of Eggman in the dub, and would continue to be the voice actor to this very day.
Oh, I love that. I love that artist. The Pollock paintings. I'm funny.
Yeah, so
that's Jackson for anyone who doesn't know. That's Jackson Pollock. Yeah, no, I could tell. Like, I've seen the dub before, and like, yeah, the voices were like definitely familiar. Like, I hear them in my head, and I also hear them in like the bad Sonic 06 cutscenes, and I'm like, oh, they're the same.
Yeah.
I think they're the same. Is 06 before Shadow?
06 is after Shadow. Shadow was in 2005.
Okay. Then yeah, that makes sense then. Because I was like, wait, they think they sound the same if they're not the same.
I believe there might have been some side titles that aren't immediately coming to mind, but they had the 4Kids cast in, I believe, Shadow the Hedgehog, Sonic 06, and Sonic Unleashed. There's probably some other games in there, maybe like Black Knight or Secret Rings. Probably a Riders game or two.
I never know like when the Black Knight and stuff came out.
Yeah. My exact memory of the year of Black Knight is hazy. I just remember that it was definitely a Wii era game because, like, a big thing about it was you get to play as Sonic with motion controls.
Oh boy. That sounds like it was supposed to be... Oh, my cat just ran into something. It sounds like it's supposed to be like a draw, but it just sounds like a nightmare to me.
I've never played those games, the storybook games, Secret Rings and Black Knight. I remember being interested, but I never actually played them. So why don't we get into the first episode?
Hell yeah. First episode is called Supersonic Hero Appears. It's called, the dub one is called Chaos Control Freaks.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the episode out of curiosity, Morg, does your version also start with a cold open, or... Because I was wondering, by the way it was cut, it might have not been.
With, like, Big the Cat fishing?
Yeah, it...
Yeah, it does.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, the episode starts with, like, it's nighttime, and Big the Cat is, like... It looks like he fell asleep while he was fishing, and then he hears, like, a huge alarm going off, and he wakes up, and in the distance, a tall tower, known from here on out as Chaos Control, has gone into alert. Robots are being dispatched, and they have to deal with who else but the Blue Blur himself, Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic,
yeah. He's just taunting them while he runs around and avoids their attacks and, does the Sonic thing.
So we get the OP of Sonic X. I know it's different in Japanese. Did you get the OP in this one?
Yeah, It actually started with the OP, so I guess it wasn't a cold open, but like it still showed me the same stuff. Yeah. Oop. I linked it, but it's good. I liked it. I don't remember the dub one very well, but
Yeah, the Japanese OP is, I don't actually know the name of it, but it sounds really good. It's
yeah.
like, it starts with this whole thing where it's like, SONIC, go! SONIC, go!
I wouldn't be surprised if it was called SONIC.
I'll have to look it up. I'm definitely linking it in the show notes. It's a really good OP. And 4Kids, of course, as with many 4Kids OPs, you could argue that it's not as good, but it's still kind of a banger. And really iconic. Actually, when I say that, I think I say that, but like Kirby Right Back at You, I think is a better OP, but like the Hoshino Kaibi thing is a bit closer to like Kirby's sort of nature. But that's beside the point. So we've got, of course, Gotta Go Fast.
Gotta go faster, faster, faster. I remembered it as soon as you said it.
Rolling. God, it's a fun one. The actual footage is just like a sort of montage of like 2-second clips, some of them sped up, but it gets you excited. You're looking forward to seeing Sonic go fast, as I was when I was like 9 and saw this for the first time.
Yeah, for sure.
After the exciting OP, we get to see Sonic again, and he's like running and running. There's like a bit where he gets caught by a spring trap, and then he gets punched in the face by a robot. But then, to his luck, Tails and Amy show up to save him.
Yeah, they're in like Tails' little airplane guy, and he like shoots out a missile.
Yep.
And it has a ring in it. Like it opens up and like one of Sonic's rings is in it, and it like goes to him like as he's falling, and then they like show like the forest or whatever he's falling into, and it like starts glowing, and it's just like and he like spins back out of it, and it has this beautiful, incredible 3D animation. Love that early 2000s 3D animation of him in a ball. Beautiful.
There are definitely moments where I realized, oh, that part's CG. That asset's CG. Like,
yeah.
This, I didn't notice it when I was a kid, but I'm noticing it now.
Yeah.
Which I guess would make it less egregious than the Kirby ones, because boy, did I notice that some of those were in CG as a kid and didn't like it as much.
That's funny. CG has come a long way.
Yeah. Anime CG is just a long-standing tradition of the 21st century.
Yeah, it sure is.
There are some... I watch like a lot of bad anime with friends, and we've made it a joke to like point out like weird CGI crowds and horses and stuff in anime.
Fuck yes.
So, yeah. Also, the ring thing is like this whole recurring thing, at least in the first season, where if Sonic gets a ring, he becomes more powerful. I think this might stem from like Sat AM. It could be a coincidence, but like the whole thing in Sat AM was you used power rings as like just a general power up.
Oh, okay. I didn't see Sat AM, so
yeah. It had different lore with the rings. I think like they established in Sat AM that there's like a whole lake that produces them, but I don't know if they ever say anything about rings in this one. They might just be there. So Sonic is like rejuvenated from the cool ring, and he does like more action stuff and fighting robots.
Wow, cool ring. Wow, cool robot.
It's good, and I like to see it. Tails and Amy get shot down by one of the robots and they have to land. And as they're landing, they start to run into a boulder, but the boulder is destroyed by who else than Knuckles the Echidna.
Knuckles. He's here.
And
he's so angry.
He's voiced by Dan Green in the dub.
Oh, fuck.
The voice of Yami. Sometimes I can hear it, sometimes not. And he's just, really annoyed about Sonic doing this, because he's going way overboard with it.
Sonic is going apeshit.
Yeah. Sonic is, Leroy Jenkinsing his way through this stealth mission.
Oh, for sure. It's not a stealth mission. If Sonic's there, I mean, I guess he can do a stealth mission, as we'll see later, but not that well.
Yeah. We cut to Dr. Robotnik, or Dr. Eggman, my apologies. He's in a control room, and he's, with his little robot lackeys for this series, Boko and Dako. I remember looking into this, and, Boko and Dako are, taken from another anime, that by the studio that made this show. I don't remember what the studio is, or what the older anime is called, but I know that older anime had more of a retro robot aesthetic, and that's why Boko and Dako look like that.
Did the studio also do the Kirby one? Because it looked similar to me. Kind of.
I don't know.
That might just be that might just be that style.
Yeah.
That might be that style.
The only really distinct thing I know about, Kirby as the Kirby anime, as far as, style goes, is that, they wanted to make it so that there were no humans, and, it was kind of inspired by the Moomins, which seems appropriate for a Kirby anime.
Aw.
So Robotnik's just, or Eggman's, getting mad that Sonic always gets in his way, and then we see a character that I think is the first time we've covered them.
Yes.
Cream the Rabbit and Cheese the Chow.
Cream cheese. But I knew them from when I'd seen this before, but how old is Cream? She's got to be young as hell, right? Is she younger than Tails is?
I know she is. She's I can't remember her exact age, but I think she's 6 years old.
Oh, this poor baby is being fucking kidnapped.
Yeah. Cream's great.
It is nice to see a Chow, though.
Yeah. I'm very happy that we finally get to talk about Chow.
Oh, Rouge is just fucking there.
Oh yeah, Rouge is also just there?
She's just hiding. I have no idea. I'm is she just there so that she can end up in the other world? She's not doing anything. She's avoiding lasers, and I'm Robotnik probably doesn't even know she's there. It's what it seems like. I have no idea.
I assume she was planning to steal the Chaos Emeralds, because a thing we find out in this scene is that Eggman has collected all 7 Chaos Emeralds, and he's going to use them for his, big tower called Chaos Control, so he can take over the world. It's around this point that Sonic shows up. He's trying to rescue Cream, I guess, or stop Eggman, maybe both. And then a robot shows up, and it shoots at Sonic, and, Sonic evades all the bullets, he runs really fast. At one point, he, stands in front of Eggman, and both of them have to duck.
Yeah, and Eggman had, this little switch that he was, threatening to, press. Yeah. And I was dude, just press it. But he does eventually press it, but it's only after the robot started, lasering the machine, so it's all broken.
Mm-hmm.
And then in my notes, I was what if this changed Robotnik back to Kintober?
So Eggman, the robot blows up shoots at the big machine with all the Chaos Emeralds in it, and there's a big explosion that envelopes not only Chaos Control, but all of the surrounding landscape. And that includes Knuckles and Tails and Amy and Big the Cat. And the next thing we see is Sonic. He wakes up, he was unconscious, it's dark, and suddenly there are cars and he has to dodge them. And then he finds out he's in the middle of a city. Everyone's looking at him, the traffic's getting mad at him because he's blocking the road, and he's not really sure what's going on, but...
He's like, what are those fucking things? What are those creatures? Talking about humans.
Yeah, they're all humans. He's in the human world, and some human cops try to get Sonic to come with them. He resists arrest. One tries to catch him, but he's too fast.
Sonic says ACAB, but they also just think he's just like, they actually immediately are like, damn, he looks like a hedgehog, but he's blue and too big. And I was like surprised they didn't try to be like, what a weird cat. I mean, they do later, but like, they just immediately are like, yep, that's a hedgehog. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, it's like that in the dub too. I guess it's worth bringing up that Sonic doesn't really look like a hedgehog. Most Sonic characters just sort of fit that general form, and only some of them actually, like, pertain to what that animal looks like. I mean, he's got spikes.
Yeah, but he could be a porcupine, or like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And he has, like, human legs. Why weren't they like, wow, what a weird human leg being? I thought they would be like, wow, alien.
Yeah. So, one of the cops pulls out a baton, and I assume he's going to beat Sonic, but he's stopped by the sergeant, who in the dub has an Irish accent, but also clearly... He has an Irish accent, but it's also clearly the voice actor who plays Pegasus, so I got to hear Pegasus with an Irish accent.
Why, you little... Take it easy. I think we can handle this without getting rough.
Yeah, but
Duffy, get behind him.
Right, Sarge.
Okay, now when I say the word, we're all gonna jump him at once.
Holy shit.
I gotta clip that and send it to Sarah.
I mean... Irish American cop. Okay, does it actually say where this is? It's just a city.
I think there's like a line, like in the next scene when they're like chasing down Sonic, they mention that they're in Station Square, which is the city from Sonic Adventure 1.
Yeah, okay. I mean, it doesn't really matter, but I was just thinking about like...
Yeah.
A lot of Irish Americans become cops, so I feel like that's where they went with that.
Yeah, it's like a whole... It's just like a whole media archetype in America.
Yeah, and he was like, we don't harm animals. And I was like, well... Okay.
I guess.
Sure. Sounds fake, but okay.
Yeah, so the cops try to catch him, and Sonic runs away, so the Irish cop sergeant sends out an alert calling all cars. There's Sonic's out there, and they have to catch him.
And they try to have like well, they try to like chase him down in their cars, and he just like fucks around with them and like hops on their cars, and you know, some cops are like, wow, when I see him, I'm gonna take him and sell him and make lots of money. And he's like, jumps on their car, and he's like, what the fuck was that?
Oh my god. I think I know the scene you're mentioning. They changed the dialogue a bit so that they just think that maybe it's a sports car, and maybe if they catch the guy driving the car, they'll get to ride it.
That kind of makes more like sense in like a weird way, kind of like, oh yeah, of course they'd be chasing down a car. Yeah, but like eventually they try to make like a stop, like a blockade, and he's like, one of the cops is like, he'll never get by us. He'll have to dig through the ground or fly. And then guess what
And
Sonic does?
he's a platforming mascot, so he just jumps over it.
He does, yeah. They say or at 100-meter jump.
Hmm.
I was like, oh. Oh yeah, that was one weird thing. Everything was in like kilometers per hour.
Oh,
Since
right.
it was in Japanese. I was
Right.
like, my brain was like, what? Oh. My dumbass.
My favorite Sonic character is his best friend, Kilometers Tails Per Hour.
God! I didn't even think about that.
So, Mission Control can't deal with this. He's too fast. So they send out the only people who can go as fast as Sonic. They summon the Speed Team.
They have race car driver cops. They have race car driver cops.
They have a special
okay.
division. They have a special division of F1 drivers meant for catching high-speed criminals.
Yeah, and like I guess they're like really good at their job because they haven't had like a lot of arrests or something. I don't know. I was confused because I wasn't sure if they were saying they didn't have a lot of arrests in general, or it's just the S team that didn't have a lot of arrests because people don't fucking speed that up, or like people don't go like race car drivers speed that often if they're speeding.
Yeah, maybe Dominic Toretto was. Maybe there's a Fast and Furious movie that happened at some point in this city's history.
Probably. Jesus. I mean, he does have like fucking nitro shit in his car.
Yeah.
Like, probably.
Yeah.
It's definitely something. They go after him, and they like, you get to see them like putting their like getting their cars all ready, and like people working on that, and one of the dudes says this very weird line that I was like, is this being translated weird? But I'm like, no, this is what they mean. But like later it makes sense. But it's like, about that milk, I put something special in it without telling the higher ups. And they're talking about the gas in the car. I'm not sure why they call it milk. Do they call it milk in the dub?
No. They call it like his secret fuel tank.
That makes way more sense. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, is he drinking milk while he drives? What a weird, like, line.
Yeah.
I took it literally for some reason.
Yeah, so Sonic, having outrun the cops for now, spends a moment sitting on a highway lamppost and reflecting on everything that just happened. He's like wondering if he's gone through time or space and whether his friends are still alive.
Yeah, in the sub, he's just like, oh man, the night looks the same as it does on where I'm from. So, that's interesting.
Yeah, that line is still there. There's just also a line like, my friends, are they gone?
Oh, he doesn't even think about his friends.
Oh my god. So, yeah, he's gonna find answers, and then the speed team shows up. The leader of the speed team, like, climbs out of his car, and he talks to Sonic. He does, like you said before, admit that, like, the speed team doesn't actually get to do that much. He's only made one arrest in the past year.
Do you get the name of the leader of the speed crew?
I know his name. I don't think they mention it here.
They don't mention it, but I get it because it's in like cuts between like there's like cuts that like show the characters kind of like it would be where a commercial break is, and his name's Sam Speed.
Yeah, that's the same. His name is Sam Speed, and
I'm like, wow, what a cool fucking guy. Except not really at all. I kind of want to punch him in the face. Because he's talking to, first of all, he's introducing himself and talking to a hedgehog that he doesn't even know talks. Like, he's literally doing this, like, monologue to the hedgehog that could be just completely mute and he wouldn't know. Like, what? Like, I'm just like, this dude likes hearing himself talk, clearly.
yeah.
I mean, same, that's why I do a podcast, but, like, still.
Yeah, so it comes time, and they have to chase down Sonic. At one point, they try to box him in, but he just jumps over them. There's, like, a bit where he's on one of the cars, and the driver says, "You should stop, or kids will try to imitate you." And, like, Sonic looks at the camera and says, "Hey, kids, don't," Sonic says, "Don't use Formula race cars to chase down a hedgehog."
Oh, it's very similar. It's just like, yeah, he pretty much is just like, don't jump on cars.
Yeah, so the chase goes on for a bit, and nobody can catch Sonic, so Sam activates his nitro because nobody can be faster than him. There's also a sort of, like, fake out line where he says, where after he starts to outrun Sonic, because he activated the nitro, he says, "The only way Sonic can get this fast is if he goes supersonic."
Yeah, and he fucking does.
He goes even faster, and then they run out of road, and Sam has to stop with some drag chutes, but Sonic doesn't stop. He ends up leaping over out into the night sky. There's like a bit where he's going so fast that he flies through a windmill farm, and the force just makes all the windmills go off, and there's like a big power surge in the city.
Yeah, and he's like falling into the city with like the lights, and he's just like, oh, this looks cool as hell, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. They don't say like supersonic, but like they say, oh, he would have to go as fast as sound, and then he does. And they're like, oh shit. Yeah. He's pretty much just like, while he's falling, he's like, well, I'll have quite a bit to amuse myself with while I'm in this world. But eventually he falls, and he's gonna fall into some water.
Yep. Sonic can't swim.
Yeah.
Falls into the water.
And I was like, why does this dude have two pools? But it's because one of them's an adult pool and one of them's a kid pool.
Yeah. Like, the big splash wakes up a sleeping boy. Sonic can't breathe underwater. He can't even move underwater. He tries to run, it just stays in place. So, this kid who's heard someone fall into his pool goes to, like, rescue them. And he saves Sonic's life. The kid introduces himself as Chris, and Sonic introduces himself to Chris, and that's the end of the episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Chris Thorndike. Many people don't like Chris because Chris is basically the relatable child character that children watching can imprint themselves on.
Yeah, he's the audience stand-in. He's fine. Like, I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know. We'll find out.
We'll find out, but I just feel like, Sonic annoys me too sometimes, so
yeah.
I just feel kind of like, same thing. But yeah, episode 2?
Yeah, episode 2.
Is called, in Japanese, it's called Infiltrate, Area 99. And in the dub, it's called Sonic to the Rescue.
Thanks. So yeah, it's the next morning. We get a big shot of Chris's house, which is like this big sprawling mansion.
He's fucking rich. This rich
Yeah.
kid with 2 pools, calling his mom, who's like an actress or something,
Yeah.
and is talking on the phone with her and is like, "Oh no, we can't come home I can't come home right now. It was raining. You know, stay safe, Chris," essentially. And Chris fucking snitches on himself about the fact that he swam after midnight to save a cat, quote unquote, aka Sonic. Oh, did we say actually Sonic talked to him in the first episode and
Yeah.
he was just like, "Holy sh!"
Oh yeah, that's right. He does do that.
Because like Chris is the only human so far that he's talked to.
Right. Didn't really talk to any of the cops.
No.
Besides,
He's
like,
just-
some like, quick one-liners.
He quipped, but it was more to the audience's benefit.
Yeah.
But yeah, this man's Chris snitched on himself for swimming after midnight, but it's fine. His mom was like, "It's fine. You saved a cat." And then they hung up, and his dad called too. So I guess neither parent is in the picture at the moment.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow.
Part of, like, Chris's deal is that he just hangs out in his mansion with his grandpa and his maid and butler, and like he's kind of lonely because of that. But I'm not sure I really care because he lives in a mansion.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I'm like, well, good for you, I guess. I mean, I guess it gives a lot of space for future characters that may
Yeah, I
show
guess
up.
so.
There's all this news. Like, there's all this news. Oh, wait, is this... I forgot about the food scene.
Yeah, there's a bit where, like, Chris says that he looked up on the internet what hedgehogs can eat, and he, like, gives Sonic some cat food because that's what hedgehogs eat.
Yeah, he was like, I mean, they eat hedgehog food too, but this is good enough. And Sonic was like, I'm a gourmet, and then runs away and gets, like, food.
Yeah.
Like, some kind of junk food or something. As he is wont to eat.
Yeah, I don't think we actually see him get the food. He just like deuces.
But he comes back.
Yeah, we get the OP again, and we see them watching a news report. We see it's like people giving a report on what happened in the first episode, and nobody really knows what Sonic is. There's like a whole bit where like they get a zoologist to talk, and they say, I don't know if Sonic's a UMA. I think he might be a robot, actually.
Yeah. They're like, an unidentified mutant animal. They're like, it might be more machine than animal. And then fucking Chris's grandpa just, like, appears and is like, hey, did you hear about this thing? And Sonic's there on the couch. And he's like, oh, God, you're the thing that looks like the hedgehog and is blue. I think that's you on the news.
Yeah. And he tries to, like, disassemble him with a screwdriver.
Yeah, he sticks a screwdriver in Sonic's butt, and Sonic doesn't like that, and Chris is like, hey, dude, he's alive. Leave him alone.
Another news report comes on, and they find out Cream and Cheese are, like, cowering on a billboard, and Sonic wants to, like, run over and save them, but Chris is like, we don't actually know where they are.
Oh, he just, like, asks Sonic, like, do you know where that is? And Sonic, like, turns back around, busting back through the hedges that he busted through before. They end up, like, talking in, like, the garage where, like, all Grandpa's fucking machines and shit are, I guess.
Yeah.
And Grandpa's just like, hey, we can help you out. Or, like, he, like, fucking... Or first they, like, figure out, like, oh, he's on this the they transferred the cream and cheese to a military base, and before Sonic is gonna leave, they like Grandpa like closes the door on him and is like, "Hey, I can help you out." And Sonic's like, I guess.
Yeah.
But I wrote the note. Why are you bringing a child to a research facility?
Yeah, they mentioned that like in the dub they mentioned it's called Area 99. It's like a top secret facility.
Yeah, they do in the sub too. That's actually the name of the episode is Infiltrate Area 99. They're not sure if they're aliens or biological weapons, and they're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, so like they drive out to the desert. Chris's grandpa gives Sonic a scouter.
Sonic fucking hates being in a car because it's too slow. Yeah, and then Sonic's like, it's over 9,000, and funny early 2000s joke.
Yeah. So get like a shot of cream and cheese. They are SCPs. They're like being scanned, they're trying to figure out what's up with these things. So like Sonic goes on his whole sneaking mission. Just before he gets into the lab though, the power goes out. And the maintenance crew try to like check on things, and they find like a bunch of little, I guess I would describe them as computer chips shaped like paper airplanes.
Yes, that's exactly how I'd also describe them in my notes. They like cut the power on like a lot of the facility, but not all of the facility. But enough that like Sonic could like get in, break out cream and cheese, and then get out.
Yeah. There's a bit about like how Sonic has to run at a normal pace so Cream can keep up.
Yeah.
The power comes back on, and they're caught by the cameras. Like throughout the episode, like Sonic's evading cameras, and now they've all caught Sonic, so they start shooting lasers at him. So Sonic, there's like a whole bit where Sonic takes out the cameras and like he points one of them at the other cameras, and he uses it to shoot them all.
Yeah.
They continue like their whole escape sequence, and the little computer chip airplanes take out more of the cameras. Power goes out again, and like the cameras start going haywire and shooting at stuff just without anything, or at random, I mean. And
yeah, and they're like running up the stairs, and like the cameras like start lasering the stairs, and they like almost fall and get hurt, but then they like make it across, and it's all dramatic and stuff. And then they're like towards the top of the facility, and Sonic hears a noise. And the noise is the sound of an airplane that he recognizes.
Yep.
Because Tails is there.
Yeah, Tails is there. Tails comes by in his airplane, and they manage to escape from the facility. The next scene is them all like back in the garage, and Chris tells Sonic that they could have all gone to jail for this.
Oh, in the sub they say, Sonic, you could have started a war.
Holy shit.
I was like, holy shit. Oh, also in the sub, which I know wasn't in the dub, is Sonic said shit at some point.
Oh, yeah.
I just want to make sure you know that, but he says shit when he's running and almost gets lasered. He's just like, shit!
There's like a whole thing in in like the sub of Sonic saying or Sonic saying things in English, just like to sound cool.
Oh no! Yeah, he says shit in English. I was very surprised. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. So he was. They almost started a war, maybe, or Chris was afraid they were going to start a war, and they like start bickering, while Grandpa's just like fascinated with Tails' little computer chip airplanes. She's like, where'd this tech come from, dude?
Yeah. Tails says it's like nothing special from it in his own world, and he thinks they got here through a warp in time and space. The episode ends with them realizing that if Sonic and Tails and Cream and Cheese are all here, then probably everyone else who was at that whole thing must be there too. And that includes Dr. Eggman. And finally, there's like a shot of the Chaos Control Tower sitting on a deserted island. It looks like it's sort of washed up. And Eggman is plotting to rebuild his Eggman Empire and rule the universe.
Yeah. It's just like attached to the side of a mountain or something, or a hill or something. His little base. His little robot pals are there. And that's how it ends.
Yeah, that's it for today. Let's see. I think we got some questions. Let me check
Sorry, I keep
real quick.
pen. I think we got one in Ask Zone.
I think we might have actually also gotten one sent in advance. Let me just make sure. Okay. Yeah, there's one sent in advance and one sent after I sent out for asks by Flutterdark. Which one do you want to read first?
I don't know where the advanced one is.
It's right
it's
above.
in the same. Okay, yeah. Let's do it in order then.
Yeah. Let's see. Dr. Walmhersaroom. Oh. Dr. Walmhersaroom, aka Marshmallow,
Yeah.
asks, what are some other sexy costumes Robotnik could definitely pull off?
Let's see. Well, he could definitely be like, obviously, sexy scientist costume.
Right.
And then, what if I'm sure they make like sexy Sonic costumes. Do you think he would do that? Or do you think he'd be like, this is against my moral character. I would never dress as Sonic.
Oh, shit. That reminds me. There is like this little cartoon that I might throw into the miscellaneous section where Robotnik dresses as Sonic. But other than that, I don't think he would do that. So, I don't know what a sexy Sonic costume would look like other than you had a hat and a bikini on.
Oh, I was picturing... So, there's like this Sonic dress costume.
Oh, the dress!
Yeah, that's the one I was
my
picturing.
God. Of course he would wear the dress. It has pockets. It's the ultimate gamer accessory.
Yeah.
The gamer dress?
Oh, I wasn't even thinking of the gamer dress. I was thinking of the Sonic dress. There's a Sonic dress. Oh my god, the gamer dress. Oh my god, I'm so glad you like misheard me, because that rules. No, there's a Sonic dress that like a YouTuber wore at one point. So, and that's what I was picturing.
As far as other stuff goes, well, we know that Jim Carrey Eggman was able to pull off that flight suit very well.
Oh damn, Jim! I saw the movie, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, he's kind of attractive.
So yeah, I'm definitely some like skin tight bodysuits. how about him wearing one of those, there are like a million different, like, sexy sweater, or weird, sexy outfits that are, like, a trend for a couple months in, like, the furry and anime circles. One of those, like, the hoodie that's also a onesie, or not a onesie, the hoodie leotard thing, the Virgin Killer sweater, the keyhole sweater.
A shirt that says Mega Milk on in the tits.
Right. So yeah, probably any of those.
Yeah, for sure. He's definitely into... he's not a furry because, again, he fucking hates Sonic, but... I don't know.
Yeah,
He might be a little bit of one. What is Eggman's persona?
Eggman's persona. I don't think Eggman would be a furry if he was given the choice, but if he had a government-assigned persona, probably a walrus.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's got the hair. The mustache. So yeah, the second question is, so, where do you think other characters ended up initially? Well, we saw that, where a lot of the characters ended up. And I don't know where, we'll probably see the other characters, but, like, where did they initially, like, crash land? Well, I like the idea that, like, Cream literally did just, like, end up on that sign when everything was happening.
And she was too scared to go down.
Yeah. She was on a billboard.
I know we see where Knuckles was. There's like an episode dedicated to that. I can't remember anything about Amy's situation. I'm gonna say, well, Tails clearly teleported with the airplane, so I guess I guess Tails in the airplane ended up maybe flying. Maybe he was like in that desert that the military base was located. I don't know.
Maybe Amy ended up at a combination Pizza Hut. What is it? Kentucky Fried Chicken? I always forget
Pizza
what
Hut,
the
Taco Bell.
Taco Bell. I don't know why I thought it was. I think Kentucky Fried Chicken is combination with something else, which is why.
Yeah, it sometimes combos with Taco Bell or Pizza Hut.
Okay, yeah. So she probably ended up there and was like, "What the fuck."
As far as like other people, I think. I guess that leaves Big the Cat.
Big is like big old bunny ears.
Anyways, so I guess, oh, right, Big the Cat. I think Big the Cat just ended up at another lake, and he just kept fishing. And that's what he's been doing in the entire first season. Because he doesn't show up until season 2.
Yeah, I think you're 100% right, because, like, where else the fuck would he be? I think I only saw the first season, because I don't remember ever seeing Big the Cat past the first episode when I was a kid.
So that wraps up Ask, so, let's roll for the next episode.
The next topic, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I've got my die. I've got the thing open. Let's roll. Oh, that's a 3. We're going back to the Archie comics.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. We'll talk about, more Archie Sonic next time. I'll see about trying to, like, find more stuff that actually has, like, continuity in it. And that's it for this week. I have to wrap things up real soon, so let's just say Sonic is real, he is strong, and he is my friend. Oh, wait, shit. Closing stuff.
Yeah. I was like, wait.
Yeah. Morg, where can we find you?
You can find me at Haunting the Morg on Twitter. That's Haunting the MORG. You can find me also on my other podcast called Wow, Cool Robot. I talk about Gundam.
Yeah. You can find all the places I'm at linktr.ee/Mike_Dawson with a 0. You can find like my comedy blog, my Twitter, the other podcasts I'm on, like Strangers Fiction, an actual play podcast, and Pot of Greed, a Yu-Gi-Oh podcast. You can find my art blog and my Ko-fi, and that's it. So, as always, Sonic is real, he is strong, and he is my friend.
He's the only blue live that matters.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.